Okay, so I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to see all of this, but yeah, apparently somebody's apartment caught on fire. Um, and I just wanted to get some ice cream, and yeah, I came out to see all of this, and couldn't move because if you can see, like right behind me, there is a truck that's blocking me. So yeah, I'm just sitting here waiting, hoping that everybody is okay so I can go get me some ice cream so I can be great. But with all of this happening, it just kind of reminds me of this fire that happened. It had to been about like 10 years ago. No, almost 15 years ago. This was when my mom first moved to this area in Mississippi. Um, so this area, and I'm not gonna say the name of it, but it's very country. This area didn't even have a 911. I know, crazy. So if there were emergencies like what's going on, around me right now as we speak, you had to call the police department or the fire department or whatever, emergency, you had to look in the phone book, dial that number, and say, hey, I need some help, or I need, the police to come, or I need the ambulance to come, I need the firefighters to come right away. So my neighbor had this car. It was her son's car, and the car had stopped working, so they went to get it fixed. And we found out later that they were kind of bombarding the mechanic because I guess they were trying to rush him to get finished with his car or whatever, and he was working, on his own time. So I guess because this mechanic wasn't moving fast enough to fix this car, they went and picked it up while he was still trying to fix it. So he wasn't even finished with fixing the car. Like, they were like, you know what, we're just gonna get the car. So they go and get the car, and the mom tells her sister, like, hey, I want to drive the car around to see if it works, blah blah blah. So the way our mailboxes were set up back then, we couldn't even have our mailboxes in front of the house. All of our mailboxes were across the highway. So you had to drive up the road and then cross the highway, like manually walk across the highway, fighting traffic just to go and check your mail. Yeah, really country and really scary. So they go, one sister is in the car, the other sister goes to check the mailbox, and while she's checking the mailbox, she hears this loud pop. And when she turns around, there's a big ball of fire under the car. So she yells for her sister to get out the car. And the sister is like, she's like, get the purses and get out the car. So the sister, is like, what's going on? And she's like, it's a fire. The car's on fire. Get the purses and get out. So the sister, of course, gets the purses. And I guess in the midst of her getting out of the car, she loses her shoe. And I don't know if the sister didn't have a cell phone back then or what, but I know she had to run back to her house to call for help. Where we lived, like I said, it was in the county, in the country. There were 2 volunteer firefighter stations that were like, around us. I can't remember how many miles. So they call for the firefighters to come to put this fire out. They tell my mom what's going on. My mom calls, tells about the emergency, and that firefighters need to come right away. 15 minutes has passed. No firefighters. And my mom calls back. She's like, yo, called like 15 minutes ago to tell you all that there was a fire. Like, why are you all not here? We're coming, we're on the way. It took the firefighters 2 hours to come. 2 hours. And when they finally came, my mom was like, what? Oh, I forgot one part. I forgot to add this. By the time the firefighters came, not only was it 2 hours later, but there was nothing left but a tire and the motor. The car was gone. The whole car was gone. So my mom is like, yo, what took you so long? What took y'all so long to come? Yeah, this car is like gone. Like, there's nothing left. Why did it take y'all 2 hours to come? Firefighters. Ma'am, we are so sorry that it took so long. We would have been here earlier, but the fire station that was closer to you all, we had to jump their truck off. They had to jump the fire truck off. I'm sorry. They had to jump the fire truck off. And because the fire truck would never start, that's when the other firefighter from down the road was like, okay, well, we're just gonna have to go over there. Yeah, so that was, like I said, like over 10 years ago. The second neighbor, well, the same neighbor, about 5 years ago, her house caught on fire. She wasn't in it, but she was renting the house out to somebody. And they called. By this time, we have 911, thank God. So call 911, same volunteer firefighters came, and we're noticing that it's taking longer than expected to put this fire out. And we're like, why are y'all, not putting this fire out like this, at the time that you all should, be putting this fire out? They were running out of water. So it was like they had to spray, then stop, go and get water from somewhere else. They had to bring the water back, and then they had to spray again. I'm like, this is some bull. If I just look at my mom and I'm like, you really moved here? So like, when a disaster happens, we're just screwed. Because this town is just crazy. I'm sorry, it's just like all of these emergency vehicles is just making me think of that. It's funny now, but I'm just like, damn, when a disaster strikes in that town, you better fend for your life, because they won't be able to save it, because none of that shit works. So tell me what you think about that. Talk to you later.